Hi, welcome back to Book Buzz with Jen and Payne, a podcast focused on romance books. Today we're going to be talking about the books we currently finished reading, and then we're going to dive into giving a review on The Brazen by Willa Nash, which, let me just say, I can't wait to talk about that because I have so many stuff to say about it. But also, if you missed it, last week we posted our interview with Kate Bromberg and Olivia Applegate, where we talk all about the Driven series, the movies, the books, passion flicks, and more. So if you missed that, check it out. It is on our YouTube channel and on Spotify. If you have any questions, just let us know and let's get started. So I recently finished 3 arcs.
Okay.
I still feel like I haven't read as much as I wanted to read, but I finished 3. I finished The Savage and the Swan by Ella Fields.
Oh, okay.
The cover, I love the cover. It's very like suspenseful and intriguing.
Yep.
And it fits the story so well. I will say Ella writes fantasy in a very unique way. So the way she writes it, it's in a very old type of writing style. The way she does it is phenomenal. So that book I loved it. It was something. See, I'm not a big fantasy reader. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick up a fantasy book. I do read the supernatural paranormal books, but technically it's weird. Right now, the only one that I read is Emily Goodwin and her vampire / werewolf / witch series. But it's very hard for me to pick up a fantasy book. So when Ella Fields started writing fantasy, I remember it was at The Cold Prince and that series.
Okay.
I was very nervous to pick up that series because, like I said, it's a genre that I'm very, I don't know, it's hard for me. It's hard to read. I don't know why. So I was very iffy on that series. So once I read that series, it was phenomenal. Loved it. So when she announced she was diving again into the fantasy world, I was like hands down excited. And when I finished the book, oh my freaking God, it starts off with a bang. It was like on the edge of your seat, and it just like takes you away from there because it is amazing. And I don't know why it gave me. Did you ever watch the Swan Princess movie, the cartoon?
The very old one?
Yes, the one where the princess, what is it, Aurora? I forgot her name. Turns into.
I don't remember her name, but she had like a blue and a white dress, right?
Yes.
And blonde, yes.
Yes. So it gives me that sort of vibe, but much like very, I don't know how to say it. Like it gives me that sort of vibe. So when I was reading it, I was picturing sort of that movie, and it was so crazy because I love those movies. But it sort of gave me that vibe, but it was darker, sexier, more adult sort of kind of way. And it's very intriguing because the more you read, the more questions you have. And that keeps you on the edge of your seat. You're like, what the heck is going on? Yeah. What are you reading? And then once you start getting close to the end, I'm not going to give anything away because I don't want people to know anything about it until you read it. But towards the end, you're like, holy guacamole. Like, this was phenomenal. Ella is amazing in the whole fantasy, in the fantasy genre. Yeah. So it is a must read. I wish I could give it more than 5 stars. It is, it's going to take you on a ride. And I really hope everybody picks it up because it is amazing. I also read The Varsity Dad Dilemma by Lex Martin. Let me just say, I have been waiting so bad for a new Lex Martin book. I love her because her books are sort of like small town, sportsy romances. And have you ever read any of her books?
I haven't read any by Ella, or I haven't read any by Lex Martin.
Well, add them to your TBR, girlfriend.
I know. I do have that, the Savage and that one on TBR, because I saw the cover and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read it. So I haven't picked up, but I have it on my TBR. And then I did saw you post on Lex Martin when you got the arc. I did saw your story. So I did check out the blurb. I am gonna add on to my TBR, but okay. I'll probably will read it, but go ahead.
It's very, I don't want to give too much away because it is, I mean, the blurb explains it itself, you know.
Yeah.
It's an enemies to lovers, single parent, sportsy romance. And oh my God, it's so funny because I messaged Serena, who when I first got the arc, I was like, get ready because I'm messaging you as soon as I finish it. And I finished it, and I told her, I was like, Ryder has to be my favorite Lex Martin hero to date, even though there were some scenes that I just wanted to like smack him and be like, open your eyes, you fool, open it. But it was very, I cried the last 20% of the book. I cried.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's because it was because the heron. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, the hero did her wrong. So when the book starts, that already happened. And you're like, what the heck did he do to her? Why doesn't she like him? And so once you continue reading, you start knowing what he did to her. And the thing is that I don't think Ryder realizes that he keeps doing it over and over and over again, like not treating her how she deserves. And it's sad. I don't know. It made me cry. And it was so good because, so the story is they're in the university, college university, and her brother attends the same school as she does, and he is on the same team as Ryder. And I think it's football. And they end up, a baby ends up showing up on the guys' house, on the doorstep of the house. And it's like a bunch of guys living in the same house. I think it's like 4 or 5, I think. And they don't know whose baby it is because the note just says, this is her name, blah, blah, blah. So they don't know who's the baby's father is. So Gabby, which is the heron, ends up stepping forward and taking care of the baby because it might be her brother's. So it can be her brother's, it could be Ryder's, it could be one of the guys that's in the house. So she ends up taking stepping up in case it is her brother's baby. And all of that, it was like, once you're reading, you're like, whose baby is it? I really want it to be this guy's, or I want it to be Ryder's, or it's crazy. And I won't say anything, but I will say that I really hope Lex gives us Gabby's brother's book because he's an a-hole and I want him to redeem himself because he made me cry at the end of the book. I don't know. It was a very good book. I loved it. I totally recommend it. Like I said, I was so excited for this book because I feel like Lex Martin writes these small town or sport romance books and she does them so well that all you do is want more. And it's so funny. Didn't I say a couple weeks ago that I was on a budget?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been adding books to my Amazon cart.
Yeah.
I haven't purchased them. I've just been adding them.
Yeah.
And I'm missing like 3 of hers. Because I think I have like her first 3 books I have. But I'm missing the other 3 that she has. Or the other ones that she has. And I added them to my cart. and it's killing me not to hit purchase because I have other books in there. But I'm like, Jeanette, you're on a budget. You're on a budget. Remember, you're on a budget. Yes. But we shall see what happens with that budget. But back to the book. So it was a must read. Lex Martin, love her writing. It's like, I don't know, her books are just so soft and sweet, and I love them. I love them. Totally recommend this book. It's a must read. And then I also finished When Villains Rise by Gianna Darling.
Yeah.
Okay, so I freaking love Dante. Yeah. And I love Elena, and I think that she deserves everything. And I really hate her sister now. And I do not want to read her, like, finish her book anymore because I am so mad of what they did to her. And Elena deserves a big apology and a big edible arrangement from her sister. Like, I could not, when I finished it, I felt so bad for her. Even though she got her happily ever after. And I mean, whatever. But I still feel like, looking back at when we read the first book, like everything that she went through. Yeah. It's sad. Like, I felt so bad for her. Dante, it was like they were meant to be together. He's the only one that understands her. He challenges her. He is there for her no matter what. Yep. And it's like, he doesn't push her to be something she's not. He doesn't pretend, that, I don't know. He loves her the way she is, and he protects her. He's there for her 24/7. And I love that, because from the beginning, he saw something in her that she didn't see in herself. And I feel like in the second book, we see them grow closer together, grow stronger together, and become this duo that it's like they're so fierce. And they make each other. I love them. I love Dante. I love Elena. And like I said, I don't like her sister anymore. And like, no.
Okay, well, I read the Evolution of Sin trilogy, and then, because of course I needed to read all of the books in the Lombardi world to fully understand all the characters. And I have to say, I know I've seen a lot of, I know Gianna, she got a lot of messages of hate towards Giselle now, because at first everyone hated Elena from the Evolution of Sin trilogy, and now everyone is what she did to Elena. But I have to say, it was thanks to Giselle that she met Dante. Because come on, if Giselle did not get together with Sinclair, then
yes, but they turned her back on her. But like, if you see it,
but girl, you have to see that if she stayed with Sinclair, her life would not be happy. She would just be that ice queen lady. She thought she was happy, but she didn't even know what happy was until she met Dante. So if she did not get separate from Sinclair, then her life would have been miserable. So I don't hate Giselle. I love Giselle. Like, I understand that they hurted Elena badly, because I love Elena. I love Elena more than Giselle and Cosima, but at the same time, like, you kind of have to see it all from, you have to finish the trilogy in order to say that you don't like Giselle. But
I don't like her.
Giselle and Sinclair are both soulmates. So
yes, but girl, okay, I think for me, what makes me feel more horrible about it was because they literally, like, they left her, and she even says it herself that she felt so alone because it felt like her siblings took sides.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, like that broke my heart. And I literally cried. I want to cry right now just thinking about it. I'm so sentimental. And I don't know, when her, like,
I know.
That's why when they were in, like, what was it, Paris?
Yeah.
And they were, I don't know, like when they were together in Paris, like Dante's making her look at the world differently. And I think that's what I loved about it, that he's making those horrible memories and those horrible thoughts into better and, new ones that she doesn't have to, like, feel sad about when she thinks about. So that's the part that I loved more about Dante, that his goal is, like, we know what his goal is, but one of his other main goal is to protect her and to be there for her and to make her realize that, the past, and now they have a future together. But I still hate Giselle, and I feel so bad for her, and I cried. But I love the book. I was like, I thought, I don't know, I went into this duet not knowing how to feel about Elena or Dante, because Dante was like, but I loved it. Loved it. And I will say this, I really felt bad for her when she thought that she was always the second pick.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, baby, you're not. Like, I don't know. I love the book. I love the duet. And I'm so excited for us to get our boxes.
Yes. I'm dying for those.
Yes.
I'm dying for those boxes.
But I love the duet. And I really hope everybody picks it up. Gianna, I don't read. And it's so funny because you posted an edit about her book that's coming out with
Dangerous Temptation.
Yes. And you know how we spoke about it when she was on our podcast, and when she reposted it, I told her, I was like, I'm actually pretty excited about this. And she's like, well, get ready because it's an age gap. And I told her, it's okay, you're the only age gap person that I read. And because I think she's the one that writes bigger age gaps. Like, I do read age gaps, but I think she's the one that are a little bit bigger than my usual norm. And I told her, it's okay, you're the only one I read age gaps now from. So but I'm so excited for that book. She is amazing, and I love her writing. I am still Team Elena. I don't like Giselle. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, please pick up this duet because Elena is amazing and Dante is fire. But yeah, that's what I read these past couple of weeks.
I also did read When Villains Rise. I seriously think that the title for the duets, When Heroes Fall and When Villains Rise, I seriously think those titles are epic. Like, the titles alone, I would want to pick up the books, even if I don't know the because
and I think they're so fitting to the story too, and the characters, not just the story, but the characters as well.
To both of them. And I have to say, I highly recommend you to read the Evolution of Sin trilogy first, and then the Enslaved duet, and then the Anti-Heroes in Love duet. Because if there's spoilers in each book, there's spoilers from the other books. So if you don't like spoilers, I highly suggest you to read in order to fully understand all the characters. Because if you only read, because for me, I'm pretty sure Gianna knows that I totally disliked Dante in the Enslaved duet. Like, Dante gets on my nerves. But in the Anti-Heroes in Love duet, oh my gosh, he was the biggest teddy bear. I love Dante so much. I see now, like, I can't pick. I don't want to say I have to either Team Alexander or Team Dante. I'm not going to say that.
Dante all the way.
Because Dante was really, he is seriously a sweetheart. Like the things he seriously knows what to say. Like the things he says to Elena is so touching.
But the thing is that, like you said, Dante is more soft and more caring, while Alexander is more tough and more headstrong, I guess you can say. He doesn't like showing his feelings as much.
Yeah. Two totally different characters. But I love them both so much. And I know some people do not want to read the Evolution of Sin trilogy because it's a cheating trope. I myself did not want to read that trilogy because it was cheating. But because I wanted to understand why people painted Elena as the villain. So I went and read the trilogy and I ended up loving it. And I've never looked at Elena as the villain, but I've always liked her. And then in the duet, she was seriously the perfect heroine. I think out of all the heroines I've read this year, Elena have to be my favorite heroine that I've read so far this year. And she is everything I love in a heroine. Like, she went through tough times and she came back even stronger. Like, she didn't really need Dante to be there to help and support her. She was already a fierce woman, but with Dante by her side, she's even more fierce.
I think that, like, I agree with you. She didn't need Dante, but I think that Dante brought out the fierce in her. Like, because she was already fierce, but she didn't know just how fierce she could be until he brought it out of her. Yeah. Which I think that's why those two work perfectly, because he pushes her to be what she is, what she doesn't think she is. Because she deep down, she thinks she's not worthy of finding love and having happiness. And Dante makes her realize that it's the complete opposite. Like, she is worthy of finding love and capable of finding love and finding her own happily ever after. Yep. That's why Elena's better than just him.
Out of the duet, which scene is your favorite scene? I really want to know. Yeah, from both books. Which one's your favorite? There's this scene that I love so much, and I kind of want to know which one's yours.
It has to be from the first book. But I have two from the first book. I'm trying to think of which one's my favorite. Okay, and you're gonna judge me, but I don't know. I think it has to be my favorite because we see a side of Elena that I think that's when we see how much she was hurt through this whole, what her sister did to her and everything. I think the scene where her brother comes back.
Okay, yeah.
Where she's in bed resting after she gets her procedure or whatever. Yeah. I think when her brother comes back, I legit cried in that scene. Yeah. Because that's where we see a side of her that she opens up the little door that she locks. Yeah. So bad that we see how hurt she is because of, and like her siblings did take sides. Yeah. And it's sad because I did get the feeling that they kind of used her a little bit. Cosima, I felt like Elena thought maybe she was used her because she needed help with Dante and everything. But I did, I don't know, like that scene to me, it got to me because we see how much her siblings taking sides affected her. Yeah. Because I won't go into details of what's going on in her life, but what she's going through, it's really sad. Like, and also the car chase scene was very fire. I have to say that was one of my favorite ones too. Okay, like,
well, because
girl,
because I was gonna say that's my favorite scene. Like after the car chase and when she got to the house and when he came out,
I kid you not. Let me tell you something. I was laying in bed reading that. And I literally, when I got to that scene, I sat up and I was like, what is going on? I'm over here reading while sitting down. I was like, Ooh,
Yeah.
fire. That scene was really good though.
Yes, I love that scene because she never showed that side to Dante, and then I don't know, because you've always seen her like a strong woman, like she didn't care, and then after that scene, she showed that a little bit, not broken, but how would you say it, like a softer side to her, and I don't know, that scene just I can legit picture it in my head.
Girl, I was like, girl, you said you couldn't, but you did. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I love that scene. That scene's probably my favorite scene out of the duet because you see her finally, kind of, I guess you could say,
Accept him.
Dante.
Yeah. She accepts him, and also she finally caves into her feelings, you could say.
Yeah.
Because she was fighting it hardcore, and she was also scared of and I think that scene, I kid you not, I was laying down and I set up and I was like, whoa. But it was really good. Like, that's one of my favorite scenes. That one, that's what I was gonna say. That one and the brother scene that I had too. But see, that's a very whoa scene. Very then the one with the brother is very an eye-opener too of how much the whole situation affected her. And I think that's why I like both, because one, we see how much the situation with her sister affected her, and then the other one, we see her finally letting someone in and going for it.
Yeah, I love that.
I finished the Brazen a couple weeks ago. Well, yeah. And I remember I mentioned it. I loved it, hands down. I think it has to be. It hurts to say this because I love Hux. Like, I don't know. It's something about him that is so sexy. But Piers was hands down freaking fire. And wow, I wanted to smack him in the beginning of the book. I also freaking loved him. He was very, I think once you know what happened to him, you get to understand why he was the way he was in the beginning of the book. And I do think that he was, because at the end of the bluff, we sort of saw him as the villain of the story. But once you actually read the Brazen, he's not the villain of the story. I feel that he's both of them. I don't know, like, I have a feeling, and I don't want to give spoilers because what I felt at the end of the book, I was like, I don't know, I want people to read it. But I will say, I do feel that Kerrigan was very, I loved her. She's so quirky and she's so sassy but funny, and she's sweet, but she still has that little fire in her. So when she keeps like, because at the end of the bluff, we realized that the nephew, was it the nephew? No, the grandson.
Yeah, the grandson.
Who was Kerrigan's boss, or
kind of. He keeps giving her loans.
Investor, you could say. Yeah. He's come back to take that away from her. So, we see, like I said, I think we saw him as the villain, but as we read his book, we learned that, both of them are very complicated. And I don't know, like, the book starts off exactly how the Brazen on their scene ended. So we know he went to go ask for the money back. He's given her a deadline. And I find it so hilarious how she kept messing with him, like kept like calling him and expecting this from him. And I loved it. I loved her. And I don't know, I loved Pierce so much. And that twist that she threw in there, I did not see coming. And that's when I messaged her. I was like, oh my God, I never saw this coming. And I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone. So I'm gonna leave that little part out. So just I don't know, like, and I will say they're when they finally hook up in the cabin, girl, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, first of all, finally, because that tension was hardcore leading up to that. And then second, it was like we saw a side of Pierce that I didn't think he had, because while they agree it's a one-time thing, he's the one who can't let go.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I loved about him the most, because usually it's always in your typical book, we always see the girl more hung up on the hero than the other way around. And I felt like this book, it was, we saw the hero a little bit more hung up on the heroine.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I liked it. I loved it. I thought he was amazing.
Yeah. Like, I seriously, when I got the arc, I put it on hold was because I was reading another book. And then when I finished that book, I picked up the Brazen and I seriously finished it. I stayed up reading the book. I finished it. I don't remember when I think I started reading it at night around 9 or 10, and I stayed up until 3 or 4. I don't remember, to read the book. Stayed up all night, finished it, went to work with 3 hours of sleep. And I don't regret it because I love the book. And I have to say, if the twist that you were, if I'm thinking about the twist what you said, I think, I don't know why, but my gut feeling was kind of telling me. So I kind of predicted, I kind of saw it coming. But seriously, like, ew. But oh my gosh, I totally agree. Pierce was seriously an a-hole. At the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, he was so mean, so cruel to her. I was like, but
there's a side to why I think there's a side to him. Yeah. But there's a side to him that he might be mean, but it's also it's a mean in a way where it's intriguing. You're like, why is he that way? And
yes,
you know what I mean?
Like you want to know what happened. Like, what the heck happened to this guy? Why is he like this? And you will, when you like, ew, like, still his wife. Maybe cut that part out since that's a spoiler. Because I seriously was not expecting for him to have a wife. You know, like, I seriously have to say, definitely throws in these unexpected events that happens in books that you do not think that's going to happen because it's not in the blurb. She did not mention it, so you have no idea that it's going to be in the book. The same thing happened like in the Runaway Road, when he has a kid. I was not expecting that. When he was already married and he had a kid, I thought he was just a single guy, works at the shop, was it? I don't remember, but like that. And what's the other one that I did not see it coming?
Hey, with the last one, dotted line, where he has a girlfriend.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I never saw that coming. I was like shocked. I literally screamed when I got to that part. I was like, what?
I was like, oh my gosh, he keeps saying that. She's too late. She's too late. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck happened? But I'm glad it was just a girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, if it was a wife, I think I'd probably drop the book. Nope, not finished.
but that twist, like, it's like you said. And it's like, I know I saw your comment on her group, which if you haven't joined her Facebook group, I totally recommend it. I love her Facebook group. posted something about how you were running on 3 hours of sleep and how you loved the book. And I said, Daphne / Willa Nash writes magic. And it's true because I feel that her books never drag. Her books never feel repetitive. So it's like this, I don't know, her stories never feel the same. You know how sometimes you read a series and it feels that the same things keep happening.
Yeah.
Even though it's a different couple story, the same plot is sort of the same. Yeah. And with Daphne / Willa, it never feels like that. Never. And she throws these twists, like you said, that you never freaking see coming.
I know. When they keep saying, I don't remember that. Yes, it's quite a spoiler again. So I guess I won't say.
I was shocked when we learned sort of the other thing that he was hiding. Yeah. And I will say that I cried. I don't know what's up with Willa and Daphne making me cry in their books, but I cried when everything came out. I was like, I felt bad for him, but then I also felt bad for Kerrigan. And it's like, I don't know, like, I love this book. I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. And it was really freaking good.
Girl, when he went back for her.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna stay here. I'll be here. It's like, oh my gosh, this dude. He was such a huge jerk. I seriously thought he was a jerk because he left for like 4 months. To 4? Yeah. He left for like 4 months. He didn't even call her, didn't contact her. Like, I totally get her because she stopped replying because she thought he moved on. Because he said that he's not into relationships. So
but that's what I meant. But that's what I meant. Like, he chased her though at the end. And it's like, he's like you said, he said, I'm gonna stay here and fight for you. And I think that's where we see that it might have been 4 months, but she was always in his mind. But he was an a-hole though. Like,
well, because obviously we didn't know what he was going through. But like, I understand him too, though. Once you read it, then you'll understand why he did what he did for being gone for 4 months.
But when he was like showed up and he was jealous because she was on a date, I was like, ooh. I love that scene. I think that I think that scene in the cabin, where they first hook up has to be my favorite scene.
Let's see which one's mine. I think my favorite scene have to be when her family kind of did her dirty and he was there to support her. I seriously think that her brother was seriously an a-hole. I don't know if you messaged Daphne, but I totally messaged Daphne. I was like, Daphne, is this a-hole gonna get a book? Because I would want to read his book. And so Daphne did say that there's a few people asking her to see if he's gonna get a book. So Daphne said maybe, because she said a lot of people liked it. Because come on, we all love a-holes. So her brother,
like, I wasn't very intrigued. Like, I bet if she writes this book, it's gonna be phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think he didn't catch my attention that much though. I don't know, like,
because I probably didn't think of him getting his own book until after, when he realizes his mistake. Like, he was like, oh, I should probably really stop smoking because it was me. I almost killed myself. So when he realizes that, I think that's when my turning point of wanting a book for him popped up in my head, because I was like, hey, dude, this guy is changing. So maybe if his book, him redeeming, like, make his life better, because he was jealous of Kerrigan, or how you pronounce it, because she was very ambitious. She followed her dreams, and he never really did. And he was jealous of her.
He was jealous of her risk taking, you could say, because he was scared to dive into new stuff. I kind of see, like, I did feel bad, like that scene that you said was your favorite. I felt really bad for her because we see a side of her that it's, you know, she feels that she's kind of left on the side in the whole family dynamic thing. But I do feel that for me, her brother kind of did redeem himself. That's why I guess I didn't really think of him getting his own book. But I will say I'm so freaking excited for Nellie's and Cal's book. Oh my freaking God, girl. When I finished the Brazen, I messaged Stephanie. I was like, okay, so tell me more about this. Like, when is it releasing? I need it. And then the cover is phenomenal. I'm like so obsessed. Yeah. And I want to know what the heck happened between these two, that she just hates his guts. And I don't know. It's like,
oh my gosh, girl, what if it was a miscarriage book?
Well, because kind of, spoiler alert, but this is sidetracked from the Brazen. So we're diving into the bully a little bit. Because in the book, I mean, it mentioned some sort of, I think they hooked up. And I'm not saying, okay, so what I'm saying right now is what I think happened, not what's in the book. So this is what I think. I think they hooked up, and maybe he brushed her off after they hooked up, or I don't know. Like, what happened? I need answers.
I seriously think they hooked up. And I really don't, because Devaney kind of always add kids in her books. Oh, or what if, you know how like in Corinne's book,
I knew your mind was going there. Oh man, you are so connected, my friend. I knew you were gonna go there before you even went there.
Because all of Devaney's books have had a kid in it.
Not the
most
first
of
one.
them.
Not the first
most
one.
of them.
The Bride.
Yeah, not the first one. The Bride, not the Bride. But most of her books, her previous books, there's not all of them, but some of them. I'll have to say have kids in it. And I kind
of... you mean like combining like with Daphne's series and Willa?
Daphne and like she have kids in most of her books. So what if this one? Well, he was mean to her, so he was like a bully to her. But what if they have a kid?
He doesn't know that they had a kid, and she gave him.
But Nellie is always working though.
Maybe she took a vacation. You know how he mentions that she hasn't taken a vacation in so long. Remember how he said that in a book? In the book, how she was adding sort of extra days to her vacation or paid time off to her vacations. Maybe
she's gonna go visit the baby. Oh,
we need to come up with like a theory mini episodes of our podcast, and then go back to them once the books release. And see if we get it, because let me tell you, I feel that me and you are always so it's creepy yet funny how much we think alike, and how we always end up guessing stuff. And we're all like 90% of the time we're correct.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 95% of the time we're correct, because it is literally true.
So we'll see.
We will see.
We'll see.
I am excited, but I feel that this series is one of I love it. And like I said before, Willa / Daphne is one of it for me, is the queen of small towns. Because I don't know, it's just like I said, her stories feel so they flow so well. They don't repeat itself. And it doesn't matter how many books she writes, her books never feel the same. Never.
Yeah.
And her characters, and this is one thing I don't like. Every time she takes out a new book, I'm like, this is my favorite heroine or hero.
Yeah.
And then she takes out a new one, and I was like, you know what? Never mind. This is my new heroine or hero. And it makes me so mad because Hugs was like, it hurts to say Pierce is now my favorite hero. Because Hux was, I love him. I think they're side to side. I cannot choose between him and Hux because I don't know. I feel that I love him so much. So
because they're both a-holes. They're both jerks.
Sexy a-holes. But they have a reason to be a-holes. Hux had a reason to be an a-hole. Look what happened to him. And Pierce, look what happened to the poor man, okay?
Yeah.
So they're a-holes for a reason. And I will defend them forever and ever. I don't know. I just feel that for us, and I'm including you in this because I feel that me and you like sort of the same type of heroes. I think that a-holes with a story are the reason why we love him so much. And I do feel that Daphne / Willa, that's what they write, heroes that might be a-holes, but they also, there's a reason to why they're that way. I feel that
broken a-holes are the best.
Yes, I need more. And Cal, oh my god, like I already hate him, but I feel that I'm gonna love him so much.
He's quite funny though.
He's nuts. Like, dude, you're so rude, but you're like, he's like a little kid. He reminds me of those really not smart, mean kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I am gonna love because Nellie is amazing. I already love her. I feel that she's very on top of things, but I also feel that she's hiding something. I feel that there's something that we don't know about her, and I'm so intrigued. And that's why I said I'm so excited for their book. Plus, it's called The Bully. Ooh. Yeah. Like, that's more intriguing.
And I'm glad it's not because they're YA.
Oh.
They're all older.
Adults.
Yeah.
I'm finishing. What book am I finishing?
Oh my gosh. I got The Ravishing today by Ava Harrison and Vanessa Fewings. I don't remember if it's a duet or standalone or if it's a trilogy. I don't remember. But it is. I've only read 5% of it, the prologue and like a few pages from chapter 1. But oh my gosh, I am scared.
Why?
I don't remember the blurb. I was gonna go back and read the blurb, but I was like, maybe I should just go into this
surprise. Go and do a surprise. Yeah.
So that's why I don't remember what the heck is gonna happen. But in the prologue, he was I guess someone attacked their house. Like the hero's house, and they killed his dad and his mom. So now it's just him and his sister. And so the mom was like, you have to protect your sister. She's the only family that you have now. So that was it for the prologue. And then it went to the present time. And I don't know what's going to happen.
So is it like, what is the...
I think it's more of a mafia or the dark romance type. So
I mean, how it is. I like the cover.
I know, me too.
You know the book I want to read? I don't know why that reminds me of it. Cursed by K.K.
Allen?
Yeah.
I saw the cover for that book. I want to read it, but
because it's a fantasy book, I think. fantasy in familiar real world setting, slow, steamy, faded love romance, supernatural elements, small. I'm reading like what it is about. Small beach town vibes, mystery and suspense, and Greek mythology.
That is a lot of things mixed together.
Yeah, so I'm very like I like the cover, so I want to read it. You know, I might pick it up and read it on the plane. That's what I was thinking. But I'm also getting the arc for Kelly Elliott's Playing with Words. I'm getting it on Wednesday. And if I remember reading the Butterfly Effect and I really liked it. So I'm very excited about this one. So I might read that one on the plane. I don't know.
Yeah. Because I think we might get Monica Murphy's. I think if I remember correctly.
You signed up for that one? I didn't know that.
Because it's not YA, right?
It starts off as YA.
Okay, well.
It's a coming of age. So it's like half and half.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what you told me. So that's why I signed up for it. So yeah, I think that one we get the arc on Monday. And then I'm gonna try to finish the Ravishing by tomorrow. And once I get Monica's, I'll read Monica's. But yeah.
I love that book. I'm so excited for everybody to read it. I'm excited for you to read it. Let me know how when you start it.
Yeah. Girl, but oh my gosh. Are you on Amelia Wild's Facebook group?
No. But I saw her cover review and I'm very excited for that book.
Yes. Net worth. Oh my gosh.
But it doesn't come out until September.
Is it September?
Yes. I thought I saw that it releases in September.
Oh yeah. Yes, September 14th. Yes. For a second, I thought it was August. But yeah, it is September. But oh my gosh, girl. I seriously don't know what's gonna happen to Leo. And my heart is really scared.
Why? Did she post a teaser?
Well, because when she writes, she continuously pick a line from whenever if she reached like 1K, then she'll post a line from that 1K that she writes. So she'll post those quotes up on her page, and there are a few quotes that, oh my gosh, I am literally scared. I don't know what the heck is gonna happen. And Serena was supposed to talk to Amelia to not hurt Leo, but it looks like Leo is gonna get hurt.
When does that one come out? At the end of July, doesn't it?
I think July 20th.
So when are we getting? I wonder when we're getting that arc.
I think we might get it next week.
Ooh.
I think we might get it the week that we go to LA.
I'll probably read it on the way back then if we get it that weekend.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping Jay McLean releases the second book of The Pieces duet very soon because I can't stop thinking about it and I need it. And I think that's pretty much everything that I have. Well, so hopefully I get Playing with Words next week and I'll probably read that when I head to Los Angeles next week. With saying that, I do want to mention on here that we aren't going to have a podcast next week.
Oh, yes.
So we are going to be back the following week, though. Because me and Ping are gonna reunite. Next, when this podcast goes live, it's gonna be this week.
Yeah.
Oh, so no podcast next week.
Yes.
And if you missed our announcement yesterday, our next author interview is Natasha Madison. I'm so excited to have her on here because I'm gonna like grill her on Max.
Oh my
Max, because I love him and I need more of him. So I'm so freaking excited. If you want to ask her anything, head over to our Instagram. We did add a post where you can submit your questions. If you want to ask her about her writing, if you want to ask her about wanting more Max, go ahead and drop the comments on our Instagram post because it's going to be really fun. So that interview is going to go up on the 28th. So make sure you're following us on Instagram so you can know when the interview is going to go live. So I'm very excited. And we already have our next author after Natasha pick too. But we'll announce that later on. I'm very excited about that one too. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And then if you do have any questions, just message us on Instagram. Our handle is at Book Buzz Podcast. And if you missed our interview with Olivia and Christy last week, head over to our Spotify list. It is the previous podcast, or go to our YouTube channel. You can listen to it there. It was really fun. And can I just say, I love Olivia to pieces, and Christy is amazing. And I was listening to the interview the other day, and it's so funny because I'm very nervous to watch the movie now. I don't know. Yeah. The trailer. I messaged her. I messaged Olivia, and I was like, Angry Riley kind of scared me. Like, she's scary. She's scary. Because they, in case you missed it, Passion Flix released a trailer for Fueled, known as Driven Season 2. I love the trailer. Yeah. Like, Michael, I think Michael delivered that feeling that I pictured Colton having when I was reading the book. Yeah. Like that scene at the end, like outside the bar in Vegas when he's screaming at her. That scared me. Like, I was like, whoa. Tone it down a notch. Like, whoa. Yeah. So I'm very excited because their fight at the end of the book, I don't know if you remember how they fight. That's when they're separated. So they're at a bar and then they end up fighting because he gets jealous or whatever. So I'm very excited to see that fight, because if he got like this on this Vegas fight, I can't wait to watch the Florida fight. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited. But yeah, so if you missed that interview, go ahead and watch it. It is really good. I had such an amazing time talking to Olivia and Christy. And like I did say before, we are going to have Christy back where we talk about her other books, which I'm very excited because I want to talk to her about Resist and Reveal. I love that duet. So if you missed that interview, go ahead and check it out. Or if you missed any of our author interviews, go ahead and check them out. They're amazing. And like I said, if you have any questions, just let us know. And we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. I'll see you in a couple of days. Yep. We need to make plans to like see each other Friday though. Maybe we can go down and have dinner Friday or something. But anyways, so we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. I'll see Pang in a couple of days. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for following us. We are almost to 500 on Instagram. Yes. And almost to 100 subscribers on YouTube. So if you don't follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. We are going to have a big giveaway when we reach 500 followers on Instagram. So make sure you're following us. It was Pang's idea for the giveaway. So I'm so excited. So again, just make sure you're following us and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Bye.